So my question for the fans that are really fans is the first person or the last person? No. So if Obama built the cages and Trump used them gleefully, then they're both guilty of the same thing. But I think the difference is this, when Democrats found out that kids were in cages, they were embarrassed and they weren't proud of that, And yet when I saw Trump supporters see those cages, most of those people were cheering and they were gleeful. Now they want to suspend the First Amendment, which is freedom of speech, freedom of assembly. So if you get together with people and all of a sudden the police attack you to elicit a response, which is the tactic they use all the time, you know what you're trying to do, right? It's just insane for me to think that during the Biden administration, these people were cheering me, telling them how corrupt America was. And now that someone has put, as I said before, put the peanut underneath another shell and shaking the whole thing around, you think all of the sudden the country is righteous? We're still bombing Gaza now. We're helping the Israelis bomb whatever's left of Gaza right now. You know that? That's the sad truth. Mr. Trump came in talking real big. War in Ukraine still going strong, right? 30-day ceasefire, but then they gave Israel twice as much munitions. Come on, yo. Do the knowledge. Where were these facilities that Obama got? Well, not all of them, but some of them. What were they before? They were FEMA internment camps set up by the Bush administration. So if you really want to take it there, come on, man, you're not smart. You're not raging against the machine. You're not fighting imaginary communism. You're a bootlicker. You're a bootlicker, bro. You only see fascism when it's pushed against people that you support or don't like. Either one. Pick yours. It can't be that way. Yeah, I mentioned that, Funk. I said that Obama put Tom Holdman in power. Well, the only difference is I didn't say that today as an observation, trying to defer blame from Mr. Trump. I said that 10 years ago when it was going on. Right, brother? Right. Okay. There you go. Respectfully. See, I'm not trying to hurt people's feelings. I'm telling them respectfully. You can go look that up. We talked about him years and years and years ago. Come on, man. Catch up. Here's a crazy thing that people don't notice. You know, ICE doesn't have to answer any questions that a cop would. A police officer. I'm not even going to say this live. This is just for the fans. This is just for the people that really use their mind. Think about this. A police officer in this country. Take this shit out so I can talk to you heart to heart. A police officer in this country has to give you their identification, right? A police officer in this country has to tell you their badge number. They have to tell you what department they're from. I'm from, St. Louis Police Department, Connor, badge 113, or they just give you the badge number, right? But these people don't even have to give you the badge number. Who even knows if they're real cops? But I just want to say that one more time for the people that missed that in the live. ICE, or whoever the fuck these people are, don't have to answer the same questions that a police officer owes you the response to. Even when you get arrested, imagine that. Even when you're in cuffs and under arrest, you tell them, what's your badge number? What department are you with? Are you out of your fucking mind? Xenos, no one's comparing the structure of these two organizations. I'm just telling you that one of them, which governs over your daily life every fucking day, they owe you a certain amount of response and information. And these other people don't owe you a goddamn thing. They'll just snatch you. No Miranda, no nothing. They claim you're illegal, put you in a fucking box somewhere. And you normalize this because a piece of fucking paper told you that? See, the thing that scares me about people like you is I start wondering if somehow the government made slavery legal again. Would you start buying people? Would you start human trafficking people? So because this clown signed a piece of paper, just like during the Great Depression when America was going through an economic shit crisis, right? Imagine that. The country's going through an economic crisis, just like now, right? And they decided to use something called the Mexican Repatriation Act. I just wrote about it on the last post I did. You can go there and check it out. It was a sham, but I'm going to go into detail about how it was a sham. It was a sham because they were deporting Mexican-American citizens. That's right. They didn't want the financial burden of these people, and they thought that they would not assimilate to whiteness. Well, you're asking people to give up their culture. I tell you what, before you do that, why don't you go to every pizzeria and rip down the Italian flag? Why don't you go to every other fucking embassy where they have the Israeli flag and tear that one down too if you're mad at the Mexican flag? What are you mad at? Unfucking believable that you don't do history and you realize that these things... Oh, it's the law. Okay, so the Patriot Act, that's the law too. Does that mean that's fair? People stare at your stuff? What are we doing here? You know? And you have these idiots on the right that they're all freedom of speech until someone says something they don't like. Or people assemble for a reason they don't like. Right? You're upset about that? Be upset. What the fuck are you gonna do to me? Come to my page and talk crazy? That's the funny part. Now you're all getting flamed. Now you're getting flamed by the thousands of comments of people who realize what a sham this is. And remember, it's still all a distraction from the fact that Gaza is still being bombed, those children are still being killed, right? The war in Ukraine raging on, right? That's not coming to an end any fucking time soon. We were told that when Biden was going to get reelected, it was going to be World War III. These people, they played bait and switch. You really think because a guy ran into another room and put a different suit on that he's a different person now? This is the part that astounds me. When Obama got elected, they did the same thing. Oh, everything's going to be okay. Yeah. War on terror is going to be resolved. No, it wasn't. We invaded another 7 countries. Now, because Trump here, you think there's going to be law and order? Everything's going to be set right? You know, my man's father, he's a Cubano, right? And he had... my man's father is no joke, yo. He got a page, and he was saying that the Cubanos in Miami are sitting on their hands. They're pissed off, but they have to shut the fuck up. They're not saying nothing. And I know that's not true, because I know some Cubanos in Miami that are not Trump supporters, and they're saying something. But he said, look at the difference between how the Mexican-American community comes together. Look at the difference in between how certain communities tolerate that shit. You know, you can keep Americans on a plane that's not going nowhere on a tarmac for like 10 hours. You can't do that to some other people, bro. You've been conditioned to accept this shit. And now it's pathetic. Now you're making excuses for this. You're making excuses for this? What are you doing? You're on the wrong side of history, bro. Those are the projects where that shit happened with Billy Jacobs. Those are the projects right there. I'm literally, you can see them in the background. behind the train tracks. You see that building? That's where it happened. Oh, you didn't think you were going to get gems today, huh? That's where it happened, bro. I love you guys. I appreciate the support. I know you guys have things to do. You got kids to feed. Got work to go to. I'll answer one or two questions. What's my opinion on people bashing or harassing the police because of ICE? Well, I mean, the police are guilty of some things already. But as I said before, the big difference between police and ICE is that police have to answer your questions. They have to give you paperwork. These ICE people come in with no warrant, no nothing, right? Are they complicit? Yeah. But remember, the concept of a police department was invented in ancient Rome when the Republic died. You know that, right? That's when they first brought in what they called the Praetorian Guard. These people were appointed by Augustus because in the past, Rome didn't have a police department. And Augustus put them there because he wanted to protect the nobility from commoners. You can't make this stuff up, man. I wish I was making this up to amuse you, but it's true. Can I make another song like The Cause of Death? I hope I don't have to, brother, if you catch my drift. Oh, man. Long live Chino XL. Definitely. What do I say to Latinos that voted for Trump? It's like a cheap drug, brother. It's a quick high with a long hangover. Right? You get a few likes from people you've never seen before that come on your page. Oh, man, I'm glad you're one of the good ones that's standing with us for law and order. Yeah, law and order until you Nevada ranchers at the Bundy Ranch don't like the feds fucking with your shit. Until you're like David Koresh, until the police spray you on January 6th, right? Come on, man. That's the low-hanging fruit. We can go back and forth all day long. Someone asked, weren't you against Assad? No, but I said that his position was untenable. It's not a question of being for or against him. He was a legacy dictator, and his position was untenable. I said that he would eventually fall because the Russians would be used in a leverage scheme, which is exactly what actually happened. Listen, I'm not a prophet, but any political scientist that was out there at the time saying this realized, okay, the Russians are in a bad position. They're defending a country, Syria, with Iran, but they're also fighting the U.S. and the EU in Ukraine. What's going to have to happen is they're going to make a deal for Syria, which is not as necessary for them as Ukraine is. So that's what actually happened. And I talked about that on multiple occasions. But if you see what's happened in Syria since Assad's removal, it's absolute chaos. It's another Libya. And I feel bad for the people that were just cheering that, thinking that that was going to be the end of it. But I understand their position. They were coming from a personal perspective, you know. That man killed someone in their family. What do you expect them to do? Go away? No, they're not going to go away. They're going to be upset about that for the rest of their life. Russians and Ukrainians are different people. They have a very close and shared history. Someone wrote, I have a dumb question. It's not a dumb question, brother. What do you think about Netanyahu's comments about needing to liberate Africa? Yeah, he made this a couple of years ago at a conference where he said that Theodor Herzl, one of the founders of Zionism, said that after he liberated the Holy Land for Jewish people, he was going to go liberate Africa for black people. Well, we all know that's not true. And if you want my personal opinion, that's him looking for a way to get cheap resources from countries that are looking for international recognition. Chicago, yeah, you're next tomorrow. If I was in Chicago, I'd be careful tomorrow. They're gonna be out there trying to incite you. That's what the police does. They try to incite you. Go somewhere, harass you, shove you, right? Whenever someone doesn't believe me, I automatically know they've never dealt with the police. Like every fucking city I've ever been to, even when something's not your fault, they'll get right in your face. Oh, what did you say to me? You trying to talk to me? Okay. Well, now you're invading my personal space. You want a reaction. You want me to shove you away from you to create personal space so that you can claim an assault charge. Man, we're not little kids no more. Stop acting like you don't know what fucking time it is, motherfucker. What's wrong with you? You don't know what time it is? They'll come up to you, push you, or say something stupid. Oh, I thought your mom and dad must have raised a fucking idiot. Like, dude, you got a C in high school just for you to come out here and level personal attacks on niggas. You out of your fucking mind? A pallet of bricks popped up at the ICE facility. Yeah, again, look, man, let's just go through this one more time. You think George Soros put those bricks there? Is that what you're about to tell me, bro? I want to inform the public. I'm going to say this multiple times before I leave. Not every response to tyranny is manufactured. That's the biggest trick that they pulled on you. They made you believe that every response to tyranny is manufactured by some liberal freak pulling strings. I never needed a blue-haired liberal person to tell me that America was racist. I lived that. I never needed them to tell me the cops were corrupt and they robbed drug dealers and never gave them money. And I saw that with my own eyes. I never needed them to tell me the war on terror was fake. I went to Afghanistan in 2009 and I saw with my own eyes United States Marines protecting poppy fields. I'm going to say that again for the 450 people watching this live. I saw United States Marines protecting poppy fields, the heroin plants that killed so many Americans and God knows how many other people in other places. So let me ask you a question. They were lying about that, but they're telling the truth about this, right? What are you doing? What are you thinking? Unbelievable. What do I think about the U.S. using drugs as an excuse to invade Mexico? Well, it worked in Afghanistan. The price of heroin went blasting through the roof after the invasion. I think it's a mistake to send the Marines. I think the National Guard is one thing, but the Marines are not a peacekeeping force. They're a military entity. And a lot of Marines and other people in the military are realizing that some of their brothers and sisters have been deported. Now, here's my question for the people that are in this chat that haven't said anything, that are sitting back quietly and said, I don't really agree with him. It's just a cut and dry issue, immigration. All right. Well, if it's so simple, I got about a dozen guys for you people. Specifically, I'm talking to you that think that this is all wrong. These protesters are wrong. Okay. I got guys, about a dozen of them. I'll introduce you to them. They don't have papers that say they're United States citizens, but they have papers that say that they're United States Marines, that they're members of the Army, the Navy, right? That they serve their country in theaters of war. Are you going to tell me that some piece of shit like you, who fell out of a hole in Kansas, or some wretched gash in Texas, gets to tell other people that fought for the country that they don't belong here? You see how easy it is to debunk these lies and these games? And what about the families of the people that are serving? You know, one of them got deported and the entire Marine battalion came out and surrounded the house. You can look it up. What the fuck does it matter if you serve this country and they still want to deport your family? Those people deserve to be here. I don't agree with any of the wars or any of the fucking things they had to do with overseas, but that's not the point. They deserve to be here more than you, motherfucker. Imagine that. Shout to the green card vets. Everyone that thinks immigration is cut and dry. Like I said before, I got about a dozen guys that would love to meet you. They don't have papers that say they're United States citizens, but they have papers that say they're United States Marines, and they served in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Vietnam, some of these motherfuckers. Come on, man. Are you that brainwashed? Good God, man. And you know what's sad when you look at these statistics about how many people they claim, oh, these people have been killed by quote-unquote illegals. Oh, my God. All right. The number's less than 30 people last year. And yet, you know how many people have been kept alive by food made by immigrants? By cherries and strawberries and celery and rice and all these other things that are picked by people to give you life. The people that work at hospitals and schools that aren't documented, that teach your children, that save their lives every fucking day. And now you people are quoting the Patriot Act. Like I said before, some of you think you're fighting against imaginary communism. You're not, bro. You're a bootlicker. You can walk into a sneaker store and find a boot to lick. And yet somehow you've decided that the right wing is anti-establishment. Hey, listen, fellas, I hate to break the heart of your inner child, but it's hard to be counterculture when you have the presidency, the Supreme Court, and the Senate. Kind of just look like a bitch that complains about just one side, right? Like when Biden is in office, oh man, this is terrible. But then when Trump is back in office, oh man, this is all Biden and Obama's fault. Wait, what? So the government's only good when it's a Republican government. Oh. And you're the people that aren't right or left. You think that both sides are corrupt. Yeah, that's what you say at the beginning of an argument, not at the end of the argument with me when I hand you your fucking ass. That's what you say at the beginning of the argument, motherfucker, not at the end. When I snapped you like a fucking breadstick, right? When I let you meet my 12 Marines that cut their fucking teeth for this country and didn't get a goddamn thing except attempted to be deported to another country that they've never known. A country they never fought for. They didn't fight for El Salvador. They didn't fight for Mexico. They fought for the United States of fucking America. And what the fuck did they get? So don't start that with me, man. I'll roll you up like a carpet every single fucking day. I love you motherfuckers, man. I appreciate the support. June 14th, we're doing a show for my brother Pumpkinhead. Rest in peace. Today is the tough day for all of us. We love you, Pumpkinhead. We miss you. I love you guys. I appreciate you. And just know that I'm always going to be supporting the people, right? It's not about the underdogs. It's about the people. Like, I'll give you an example before I go. I always told people, listen, if it was the other way around and the Palestinians had the might of America behind their back, they had nuclear weapons, right? And they had Jewish people in this little place called Gaza, and they were blowing them to hell, I would be on the side of the Jewish people in Gaza. Has nothing to do with ethnicity or anything else. It has to do with right and wrong. You know? And if those were Jewish people in Gaza being bombed, then you would see the United States react very differently. But they believe that the blood of Palestinian children is worth less. They believe that our product, our produce, our labor in this country is worth less. if we don't automatically assimilate to whatever they decide is an American today or tomorrow. Well, you can't be truly an American until you were born here. Okay, I was born here. Well, you were born here, but you're not from the right country. Only a European can actually be an American. Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine you break into my car and tell me that you can never actually own this car, even though it used to be yours for 12,000 fucking years. You know what my favorite one is? Everyone was a slave. Everyone was oppressed. You're not special. Actually, we are special. Black and Latino people are the most special people. You know why? Because unlike other forms of slavery that were perpetrated against Europeans, we had something special happen to us because our enslavement was justified by the most corrupt science that humanity has ever seen. If you ask scientists, this is true. The most corrupt science that we have ever seen, and it was called eugenics. They made up scientific lies and manipulated data to make it seem as if indigenous and African people were less human than others. You see, you were cowards in that way, right? Because all I hear conservatives, the caliphate had slaves. You're goddamn right they had slaves. So did the Romans. But the difference is they didn't need to make excuses. They weren't pussy like America. Country, no, we are special. Because you had to make up special lies about why we deserve to be in this position. Isn't that funny? We're special, motherfucker. Don't you ever forget that. Have a nice fucking night. I love you guys and I appreciate the support over the years. And remember, all you people that came here to defend Trump and say, oh man, look when Obama did it. Yeah. Okay. So Obama was the second guy and Trump was the fourth guy in a gang rape. And you're trying to tell me that one of them is better than the other. You came here to defend Trump, but you just made him look stupid. You got to come up with something better. If you're trying to defend him, you got to do better than that. That is just classic, easy to duck and pull counter, knock you out. I've been doing it all night. I love you guys and I appreciate everything, man. And if I'm not there with you at the end, man, just play my music at the protest, man, all right? I love you guys. You guys have a good night. I'm not going to save this live. If you saved it, man, you can put it out wherever the fuck you want. I don't care. But I just wanted to post this one for the fans. And just tell you guys that I love you and I appreciate you. And don't ever let people intimidate you or come at you with these false facts. Or, oh, immigrants kill. What about the person that they killed? What about the person they saved? Come on, we want to do this all day? What about the people that served, motherfucker? You got something for them? Other than your hollow words? Come on, man. Don't be intimidated by these people. They're nothing. They're all paper tigers. Right? Don't let them try to silence you. Talk down to you. Fuck out of here, bro. Anyway, you guys have a good night. I appreciate you guys. Viva la revolución.